All right. Welcome, everyone. Let's see, this says no incoming stream. Really? It's happening now. It's the stream that we're on now. You know what? This is the one that is happening now. This is the one. All right, y'all. So, welcome. And did it earlier. Okay, went live, and you all couldn't hear me. So mic check, 1 2 1 2. So this is our holiday harmony sanctuary, right? And supporting us with being able to not be triggered, right? So as we know, every calm breath wraps us in a new wiring and confidence. So if you're ready to rewire what's happening under this beautiful crown, just drop rewire in the chat, and we're going to support you with these different triggers. So last week I almost canceled everything, and then I realized, it was my brain that was, supporting me in staying in this perfection mode. So I want to support you and let you know that you are not broken, all right? And that you got this. So if that lands, then drop a yes, so your nervous system knows that you're ready, all right? So we're going to identify some beliefs that support us in staying triggered and in trauma drama during the holidays, right? And so as what I know now, with the passing of my mother, is that I'm going to have a first of everything now from here on out, because she's no longer with us. And I want to be able to share with you some of the tools that, I'm using to navigate through these experiences, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about how to do this and what this looks like and the role the body plays, in this, and what are some of the triggers and the beliefs, all of that is occurring that's keeping us in these vicious cycles, whether it's whether some of the beliefs are, you don't have enough money due to all that's happening with government shutdown. And I know some people personally affected who works for the government, and they're like furloughed and just like, ooh, and rightfully so. I understand. And that's a reality, right? So if you're following me and you're joining this live on TikTok and it's resonating with you, of course, send some hearts. If not, we want you to stay in integrity. Don't send the hearts, all right? And same on Facebook and YouTube and all those good places. But if it's resonating, give us a thumbs up or a like or a love, and let the algorithms know that this is something you want to see more of. Because I'm going to be doing this during this season. The intent is daily, and I have to have a full transparent moment with you at this particular point. Because like I was saying last week, I didn't almost do it. Why? So here's what was happening. So what we had going on was because it was a spontaneous, it was a definitely download and an inspired action, and it's connected to, of course, what I'm experiencing, how I work, how I serve, and I want to be able to give more value and more value and more value, and give from my overflow, whether you do anything else with me or not, moving forward, right? And I wanted to be able to share this because last year I did 44 days of gratitude, and that was inspired and it was exciting and challenging at the same time, and it helped me to definitely be consistent. And what I also recognized as a part of some of what almost stopped me from doing it, perfection, was that I'm consistent with being inconsistent. All right? I'm consistent with being inconsistent. And so having that as a reality, let's see, is Facebook on? Because this what happened earlier today too. I was on Facebook actually, and where's the other phone? And you all couldn't hear me. So this is interesting. Okay, so that's TikTok. And okay, so we don't have Facebook on. Oh, because this thing wants to act up. Okay, so I'm just gonna go live. I'm just gonna go live, and it is what it is. So first, let me see if Facebook is getting some love, because we definitely want Facebook to get some love. Because I saw a lot of y'all were looking the other day, and yeah, we want to ensure that you can hear this, since I'm committed to adding value, right? So no, it doesn't show that I'm live on Facebook, but let's see, 2 hours ago. Okay, but anyway, we're getting ready to do this and support each and every one of you with having this experience. So I'm not going to be long, and y'all know I can talk. Y'all know I can talk. So let's see here. Let me just work with me a minute. Just give me a minute. Let me get Facebook on. Let me get Facebook on. That's the main reason why I'm coming back to do it again, is to get Facebook on. Jeez Louise. So if I just go live, no, let me see, when I get back to Hawaii, this won't be a problem. Oh man, my friend live. A lot of my people live now. Okay, well, we're gonna be live together. You can go back and watch the replay, you know? So that's cool. Open Facebook, come on. All right, this is, I might just have to upload this to Facebook, y'all. That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm just gonna upload this to Facebook because this is doing too much. All right, so let's do a reset. And what we are committed to doing, right, is helping you during this holiday season not be triggered this year with the same repetitive things that continue to happen over and over again. And we're going to be helping you to see what's happening in the brain when that happens, so that you will be more open to showing up differently for yourself first and foremost. All right, showing up differently for yourself first and foremost. So as I was saying, that one of the reasons this series of giving and supporting you during this season through the work that I love doing with helping you know how to shift your shit, your self-healing inner talk, because when it's shit, it's the low vibration energies, the limiting beliefs, you know, like what I was experiencing, being in perfection, and oh, I can't do it because it's not perfect, and oh, it's last minute, you know, or nobody's gonna tune in. All of that stuff, right, that was going on in my head, and giving myself a session, I was able to shift it, you know, to whereas also, so giving myself a session and really being truthful and integrity with how I'm choosing to show up, right? And give from the overflow and add value, and share with you the imperfections so that you can get out of your own way, right? And show up for your purpose and how you serve and the people that are waiting for you. All right. So, with that being the case, I was able to, of course, get him heart space. And, you know, as they say, another side of me was like, F it. Do it afraid. I'm always talking about rising above emotions and transforming fear. Do it, do it, do it. Be transparent, be vulnerable. So here I am. Oh gosh. And so that's a part of what's available for you. And we're going to be talking about how and what's happening inside the brain, you know, this beautiful, what's happening under this beautiful crown that we're wearing, right? Being the kings and the queens and the kings of our king dome, queen dome, right? And what the neurons are doing, the myelin sheath, the pruning, that process, all of that, what's really happening, so that you won't be able to say I didn't tell you, for one. Two, you'll be empowered to make different choices. So you can take off being the victim, all right, of what's happening in your immediate environment, all right? So that's a part of my heart, all right, as to why we're here. And then we want to, for those of you that are open, we'll do some live demonstrations to be able to show you how the body communicates, right? And you being able to be aware and listen more to the body, all right, and communicate with it, all right? So, because when I'm telling you, and if you haven't tried this, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, I get real excited talking about this type of stuff. If you haven't communicated with the body, you know, when the body gives you a sign or a symbol or a signal that something's going on, and then you get to talking with the body responds. I'm telling you, the body responds. So God has given us definitely this vessel that we are to be in charge of, and I want to be able to support you in being able to be in integrity, be heart-centered, be growth-driven, right, and committed to self-mastery with being in charge of the temple that you have been given, all right? So what are some of these beliefs? All right, so if all of that is a yes and it lands for you and you're open for it and you want to experience it, then just say yes, drop a yes, you know, write yes, so that you have that connection, right? You have that neuronal connection, nervous system connection, all right? That knows you're like, okay, I'm game, I'm up for it, right? Because everything is energy. And I want to say this, that every thought that you think, whether you speak it, you know, out loud, it's creating. It is creating. So when I was working with, as I work with Dr. Jewel Pookrum at the Jewel University, you know, we are committed to helping people balance their brain and have whole brain functionality. And so it's really important that when I was writing articles for one of the newsletters that we had, I would always say, think about what you think about, you know, because I was doing the articles around the universal principles and how they apply to our life, right? And I would always say, think about what you think about. And so I want to empower you to think about what you think about, and the framework that we're going to provide for you in the next few minutes, you'll be able to easily understand why you want to do that, you know. And of course you have free will if you choose to do it or not. No worries here. You won't be able to say I didn't tell you. That's all I'm saying. All right. So as we are talking about the triggers that are occurring during, this season and this time, for those of us who are experiencing grief, those of us who have lost loved ones, many of us, and missing them, whether it's fresh or 50 years ago, it's all relevant, right? And so we now get to process this differently so that we can continue to move forward in our life, which is what they would want us to do, right? In a healthy way, and be able to honor and serve them and still carry them, carry their memories with us, right? So some of the beliefs that many, may be experiences, I rest. If I rest, I'm letting people down, right? So feeling like you got to do everything and be everything to everybody, right? During this time, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you're just in overwhelm, right? Another one is they'll be mad if I say no. How many of us experience that? They'll be mad if I say no, I'm not going to the Christmas dinner. I don't want to be with all the people that's still going to be doing all the same thing over and over again. And we're doing it the same way. We're not doing anything different. Right? We're not evolving it, right? So whatever your particular reason is, they'll be mad if I say no. They'll be mad if I say I'm not celebrating Christmas this year. But what's wrong with you? You're a Scrooge. All the things, right? Or I'll relax when it's all done. Right? I'll relax when it's all done. So when you understand that later never comes, because the brain definitely fires whatever pathway you feed it, like right now. So whatever you're thinking, that's what it's going to keep giving you. Remember, I was talking about those thoughts and that we're always creating, whether you say it out loud or not. If it's if you use body language, the non-confrontational way, right? And it's all in your body language. Your body is still processing it because everything is energy, right? So just imagine this. One of them thoughts or one that came up for you, just imagine your old thought is a worn out piece of dirt. And every time you stop walking it, the weeds cover it. That's pruning. So now we're going to be getting into some of what's actually happening inside the brain, right? So that old thought, it's a worn dirt path. Okay, it's a worn dirt path, right? And every time you are going down this path, you see the weeds covering it. Or, well, not so much as every time you're going down it. Pardon me. When you do not go down it, right? So, because when you're walking down a path, if it's not manicured, right, then you start having weeds popping up if it's not manicured, right? And so that's what's happening. When the weeds start covering it, that's called pruning. And I don't know if you are familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about this pruning process. Phenomenal video that you all can watch on what's actually happening, and you can see it inside the brain when you're changing one thought, a negative thought. Oh, you're just like your mother, you're just like your father, you're never going to amount to anything. Oh, they'll be mad if I say no, and I can't say no, then I'm going to have to hear it, and I don't want to hear it, right? All of that, them thoughts, those thoughts right there. When you keep those thoughts, of course, you keep getting more and more and more and more of that. But when you change that thought, right? When you replace that thought, it's like that those neurotransmitters start to loosen. And then that other thought starts to weaken because you're not giving attention to that thought anymore like that. Oh, you're going to be like your mother. They're going to say, I'm not going to ever be able to go over there and just be myself. I got to just sit back and just fake it, right? When you like, no, I'm going to show up. I'm choosing to be myself. I'm going to say what's so for me in a loving way. And if I'm not welcome, then I'll leave. But I'm no longer going to be fake. All right? I am choosing to be integritous, authentic, and approachable, and communicate what's true for me. Right? right? So when you're now having that thought, that other thought is being uprooted. All right, is being uprooted. And another thing that is happening, because you got that repetition going on, is that the repetition now is coating the trail in the myelin sheath, right? And the myelin is that insulation that makes peace for the fastest route, all right? It makes a way for that thought, right, to get embedded even faster, okay? So now let's take some time to inhale. Okay, so let's take some time to just inhale. I need to inhale. This is for me. I need to inhale, okay? All right. So just know that you're not overreacting. You are rewiring. When you're choosing to change, and trust me, you are changing in every moment. You're not overacting, you're rewinding. You're rewiring, okay? And so when we do the inhale and the exhale, when I said I need to inhale and exhale, you know, that breath, it teaches the brain safety, okay? It teaches the brain safety, all right? So let's continue to understand what's actually happening in our brain with the neurons and the myelin sheath as to why we want to show up this year for the holidays differently. We want to give our body a rewiring, a reset, right? And I would even say a full detox, you know, full detox with just getting rid of and just clearing, because that's what I want to be able to support you in being able to experience for yourself, is a clearing. And it don't have to take long. You don't have to, you know, do a whole lot of talking. You can clear it just like that. Have your sleep cycle. The body gets to calibrate, reset, and now you're creating new opportunities because that negative energy has dispersed and been cleared and transmuted. And now you have a opening for all the people, places, things, circumstances that are ready to support you at this new level by which you're now showing up. Okay? So, how is that landing for you? How is that landing? So, what I want to do now is I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I want you to say out loud one of the negative patterns that you are experiencing. Okay? One of the triggers that you're already experiencing, or that you're even anticipating, all right, that's going to be happening. So for example, one could be, I must stay busy to feel worthy. Stop, pause, right, and replace this truth and say, my worth breathes, not performs. Right? My worth breathes, not performs. All right? And so being able to just swap that out, you just prune that old neuron, as I was saying before, and wrap the new one in the myelin sheath, and that's neural alchemy, right? So again, you took that old belief and you replaced it with the new one that's high vibration frequency, right? And now that is what your brain is going to be focusing on, right? Because remember we said earlier that your brain, whatever you continue to repeat over and over again, That's the new rewiring that you're doing. Okay? All right. So, when we recognize that your negative patterns, the triggers, the negative beliefs, all of that is this has been your programming. You programmed yourself to experience this, and many of us have been programmed that this is all we know, right? So now you get a chance, for those of you live and or listening to the replay, you have the opportunity, should you choose, to show up differently. And if you're up for that, then say yes. All right? Again, so that your nervous system gets it and know that, and will be able to support you in this new way of being that you are now choosing to show up as. All right? So some of the other beliefs that some of our clients have been submitting, for clearings and support with is, and I have it written down here, is peace, and just wanting to have some peace. So your peaceful self isn't fragile, it's trained. You're leading generations toward calm. This is a new identity that you are now beginning to embody. Okay, this is a new identity that you are now beginning to embody. All right, remember, you're thinking about what you think about, and you are, because you know that every thought that you think is creating, right? It's always creating. And so when you embody this new identity, again, you're repeating it over and over. You put it on stickies, you put it on your phone, so when it pops up, you see the new identity, and it can bring you back to what's present for you right now and take you out of the past from how you've been programmed, and you've programmed yourself, all right, to be. So right now, your brain is literally deleting the stress code. That's what's happening. With this new identity, your brain is deleting the stress code. All right? And so another way we can support you with being able to experience this reset, experience this reset is, I want you to make sure you always have water, all right? Because the water is the current that is the flow. Yeah, that's right. It's the current that takes the electricity, that spark that is us, through and to all the different organs. That's why you can die from dehydration. All right, if you didn't know that, you know it now. So it's important to drink your water. All right. And who am I to say this? Well, I've been helping people and helping myself do this for 30 years with everybody else, right? Consistently, daily, in the trenches, doing all the things, doing all the learnings, the different modalities, the different energy technologies, and all the things, right? And I'm so grateful that this is my journey, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I love the oneness of it. And I'm so glad now that y'all have caught up, because we're not new to this, we true to this. And it's $1 billion industry now. So, yeah, okay, welcome. Come on, about time. That's all I'm going to say. About time. So, in all humility, and what's the word? It's called, in all humility and relevant truth, right? That I'm glad it's a thing now, where before they thought we were voodoo doctors and witch doctors and all of this stuff. When we're trying to help you tap back into what God has already given you, because you have everything within you, but everybody looking outside of themselves for the answer when it's all within, right? Okay, so I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that part. I had to say it. And thank you for listening. And for those who, it felt a different way, then so be it. Take it how it serves you, right? And just be with it. Just be with it. So this next part, how long we been going? Okay, so I'm at my 30-minute mark. Okay, so give me about 10 more minutes. This next part of another way that we can shift this, because of course you can shift it through the breath and meditation, and prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening. So they complement each other. This is a oneness experience. Okay, this is oneness. All right, this is oneness. Okay, and so what I would like for us to do now is to show you another way you can communicate with the body, and how the body communicates with you and gives you symbols and signs and all the things that sometimes we don't pay attention to, because it's so subtle, right? Initially in the beginning, it's so subtle, right? And then when it becomes prolonged, and some people don't pay attention due to not feeling like they don't have enough money, they don't have no insurance, they can't go to the doctor to see what's going on, or a naturopath or allopathic or integrative specialist or functional medicine. Choose whichever one you would like. Just go get some help, or someone like us, and we can definitely support you with recommending, some integrous physicians that will support you in helping the body to know how to heal itself. Yes, because God gave us everything we need. I'm telling you, we got everything we need. So we got to stop looking outside ourselves. So I'm back on my horse. I'm going to get down off the horse and come back so we can do this process. So another way you can connect with the body, right? Consciously, fully aware of what you're doing, is by being able to communicate with the subconscious mind. Okay, so what am I saying? That each of us have the capacity, and we know it, but nobody, I won't say nobody, very few have been made aware or taught that this is what it is and this is how you do it, right? So now spirit is guiding the science, and science is validating what was already available to us. All right? Okay. And so when we support you in knowing how to communicate with the subconscious mind, one way I can help you to see what I'm talking about is, in that we do not do this, is because when you woke up this morning, did you tell your heartbeat to beat? Did you tell your heart to beat? Did you tell your liver to process the glucose perfectly so there's no insulin spikes? Did you tell the bladder, it's like, bladder, okay, it's time for us to release? Did you do any of that? No, you didn't. So you now understand and know that the autonomic nervous system is what controls 99% of everything that we experience, right? So the conscious mind is 1%. And we have given so much credit to this prefrontal cortex, conscious mind. We have given so much credit to it. And the real power is in the unseen. That's how you walking around here today. That's the real power, right? I was getting ready to go there, but that's for another conversation, with how that's all connected with your God self. Okay? Jesus said, greater works I do, you shall do. Me and my Father are one, right? And so being able to recognize that you have access to be able to communicate with the subconscious mind those core thoughts, those subtleties that you don't pay attention to, but you know they are real because your environment reflects more of what you don't want than what you want for many people. Okay, for many people. This is why this is important. And even for, well, I can say for everybody. Yeah, because at some level, whether you got 10 figures, 10, 11, 12 figures, you know, you got 6 figures, you got 1 figure. To some degree, we all are in a flux, all right? And so being in this flux, there's technology that is so smooth, and I've been a part of this technology for myself, dealing with money issues, which was how I discovered it over 17 years ago, is how I got introduced to it. And it was an answer to a prayer that I had been praying, just because of programming and processes that I saw that was running in my family, okay, in my family line. And I was choosing to show up differently and have different experiences, right, that will help me to go and help my family to leverage up, right, and be actualized, right? So into a different experience that's available for them should they choose. All right. So again, I was in transition. I was living in Chicago at the time, and made some prayers about the whole scarcity, not being enough, and all the things. That was what was running through the thread for me, was I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, enough. So scarcity. Okay, that was what was revealed to me, and what I could see for myself just based off of many of the actions that I was taking, right? And choices that I was making. And so came across this program. His name is Brent Michael Phillips, and I'm grateful to say I'm a certified teacher and instructor of this technology, and teach the classes with them. It's so fun being able to see people get empowered and be able to take back their power, and see the lights come on about what's possible for them and for themselves, and for those who know, like, love, and trust them, right? Who they can affect in their own community. And so discovered there was, through some limiting beliefs and clearing, had scarcity consciousness, okay? And so it made a whole lot of sense when I was truthful with myself and was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. Made a whole lot of sense. And when we shifted it, 2 days later, 48 hours later, my income increased by 20%. Yep. And when that happened, I was like, oh, shooky. I'm going to take this class and get certified. And then when I did the certification for level 1, I went all the way to level 5. I was like, oh, I'm doing this. And when I tell you, I hit the ground running with helping people, giving complimentary sessions so they can have an experience with it and seeing the changes. And a lot of my clients are, especially starting out, not still today, but especially starting out, a lot of them were therapists. Yep, a lot of them were therapists. Yep. This little old me that's don't have no certification, no license, and all of that with the mental health and all that stuff, emotional management. Yeah, little old me. I told you I suffered with not being enough at that time, and I tell you, it was very interesting. All right, and so being able to support others, and they're helping them clients with the things that we were doing together in the sessions, and they're taking it back and helping their clients, and some of them have gotten certified in the same technology. Because again, when you understand this is a journey and it's not just this or that, it's the alchemy. It's the coming together of the things, right, that support. So how do we do this? We are accessing a awakening theta brainwave. You are awake. This is what's used in hypnotherapy. However, you are fully aware, right? And you don't have to do a whole lot of talking, all right? So there is some talking, but you don't have to, it's not like a typical therapy session, okay? And so simply what we support you in being able to know how to do is, and we can do this right now, if you're open to learning this, what's going to happen is I'm connecting to your energy field. For those of you listening live and or to the replay, I connect to your energy field, and my higher self, God, essence, however you want to refer to it or not, the energy, the energies, your energy, my energy, is coming together in this realm for the highest benefit of all involved. No one is being harmed here, right? And supporting you with being able to know how to shift it and change it, right? So you have the visuals now, what's actually happening in the brain when you are conscious and these experiences come back up, or the situation is present and it reminds you or triggers that thought. You'll be able to recognize, oh, I didn't respond the way that I normally would respond. Wow, that does work. Because it happens all the time. Wow, that stuff does work. Oh my goodness, let me get another session. And I'm encouraging you, and I'm putting this plug in right here, right now, that I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to certify at least 1,000 people by this time next year in this technology, so that you can have this tool for yourself and for your family, and you can share it with those who you know, love, like, and trust you. All right? So that's one of my missions. Yeah, that I'm working. That's in place right now. So you want to make sure you're hydrated, right? You want to make sure you're hydrated, because when we're doing a lot of work in the energetic realm, you're making a lot of internal shifts, right? And so there's a recalibration that has to take place. So you definitely want to stay hydrated, okay? And you want to make sure you get enough rest, okay? You want to make sure that you have a sleep cycle that will help to support and reset what you're actually experiencing, right? Okay, good. Yeah. All right. So being able to know that you have this capacity, it definitely it can be a little shocking. All right, it can be a little shocking. So make sure you have your water. Give permission to say yes. I'm going to connect in. All right, because I have to get permission first. We have to get permission first. All right. So for those of you that are live and or listening to the replay, and you say yes, okay, then okay, so it's received, whether you say it out loud or think it, okay? Because again, everything is energy. Everything is energy. All right. So I'm going to connect in. Okay, so now the first thing you want to do is you're going to stand up. All right, you want to stand up and just be comfortable. You know, don't lock your knees, right? Because you want to be able to allow the body to flow. You know, and I have to tell you, one of the cues when I first did this that it reminded me of is standing up in church when you begin to pray. Right? When they tell you to stand up for prayer and you're standing there, you know, and then your body gets to moving, you know, however slightly. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience. I know I have. Okay, so that's what it reminded me of when I first had my experience. All right, so you want to stand up with your knees, not locked. All right, and I want you to say, so what we are doing, we are establishing what our yes and our no is. All right, what we know to be the truth and what we know is false, and we're going to see how the body responds. And based off of how the body responds, because this is a part of what's called kinesiology, right? And because words have vibration and the muscles respond to that, okay? So when you say what your name is, just wait. Let me get some water. Just wait and see which way your body moves, okay? All right, so I'm gonna say, so we're gonna say now, so we're gonna say what our name is. I'm gonna say, my name is Felicia. All right, so you can try to stop it if you want to and see where your body stops. And everybody who I've done complimentary sessions with called Healing 101, it's like, oh, I tried to stop it and I couldn't. Again, the body is such a phenomenal creation. And because we have stewardship over it, what does that say about us? The ones who have given charge over it. Yes, so you can activate the body's ability to self-heal. And that's why I keep saying it, and I'm committed to it. We are committed to it at Oneness, and we continue to be committed to it. Let me just stay in present moment awareness. Yes, yes, yes. Okay? All right, so you got your yes, right? And so if your body swayed forward or backward or to the side, that means when you ask a question based off of a belief or knowingness, and it gives you a yes, that's the direction the body goes. And if it goes forward, mine goes forward, okay? All right, so now we're gonna test what we know to be not true, right? So I'm gonna make up a name, or you can say I'm a male, or I'm a dog, or you can say whatever you want to. That's not true. And this is for demonstration purposes only. And of course, disclaimer, this is for info edutainment purposes. And please consult. We're not here to diagnose, none of that. So please go to your physician, your allopathic, integrative specialist, holistic, all of that. Just go over there. We're not diagnosing. This is for fun. All right. So now I'm going to test. Okay, my name is Joe. So see, mine moves fast because I've been doing this since 2014. Okay, so mine calibrates fast. And some of you alls will too. But for those of you who it's not moving as fast, again, you may need to drink more water and just give it time. And you want to go with the first movement, the first direction, whether it's slightly forward or slightly back. One guy this morning, his was to the left, right? Okay, and we had to balance out the polarity because his yes was over to the left and his no was back. Okay, and this doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. We just know there are some standards, right? Okay, so now that we have that established, now we can go forward with some of these beliefs. So let's go with some of the ones that we talked about earlier. Okay. All right. So say this out loud and wait for your body to move, because we've already established what our yes and what our no is, right? All right. So let's test. Okay, I just gotta intuitive hit to do this one. This must be what's prevalent in the ethers, in the energy realm, in the field. It's about money. Okay, and it makes sense with everything that's going on in the world, right? So let's test and just listen to my wording. Just listen to my wording, because the brain does not, the brain processes not in a different way. So I know many of you are familiar with when somebody asks you what you want, you immediately tell them what you don't want. And that was not the question. That ain't the question. I asked you what you want. So this just shows how programmed you are in lack. Okay? So the brain doesn't process don't, can't, won't. It don't process that. When you say that, it's going to give you more of what you say you don't want. Okay? So listen to how I'm going to say this. All right. So let's test. There's a lack of money that I have for the holidays. All right. So mine was a no. Yours may be a yes, right? Okay. So take a minute and test that. Okay. Put in the chat if you got your yes, you got a no. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to support you in being able to shift that. Okay. We're going to clear it. Okay. So just close your eyes and just relax and just focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Okay, so now let's retest. Let's retest that same belief and see if it shifts from no to yes now. Okay, so the belief is there's a lack of enough money for the holidays. So mine was a no, so it was still no, because again, we were clearing it for those of you all who wanted it to be cleared, and now it should be a yes. Okay, it should be a yes. If it's not a yes, that means we just need to go a little bit deeper, and that will happen in a private session or a longer focused group session. Okay, where because we go over and go through like at least 2,500 different beliefs around just money that you'll be amazed that we have. I discovered one that I had yesterday when I was doing this. I was like, oh, okay, well that would make sense. All right, so let's do another one. So let's test. Okay, I am overwhelmed this holiday. And you can even put what's happening in the world. I am overwhelmed with this shutdown. Let's see if I got that. Okay, let's test. I am overwhelmed with this shutdown. No, because I ain't paying that junk no attention. I'm a little different. Okay, I'm a little different. Okay. But if you have it, then let's clear it. Okay? If you're overwhelmed with this shutdown, let's just clear it. All right? So now, okay, for those of you that are just joining us, you can stand up, say what your name is, make sure your knees are not locked, and just stand up and say out loud, my name is, get your yes and you know, then get your yes because you're speaking what you know to be the truth, and then say what your name is not, and see which way your body moves, because we're supporting you in knowing how to communicate and connect to the subconscious mind. All right, so you'll know these triggers that are really triggers, or are they not triggers? Is it something you made up, or is it just something you've been conditioned to because it always happens? What's really true for you, right? And your subconscious mind, your autonomic nervous system, is that barometer by which you're able to connect with it. Okay, so now we were testing. We were testing the lack of money for the holidays. Some people had it as a yes, that was a belief that they hold, and as a result they can see this in their life, and so we cleared that, right? So now we're moving on to this shutdown. Okay, so let's do I am being affected by this shutdown. Okay, I'm not, but for those of you who are, you got a yes, then let's shift that for you. All right, so just continue to inhale. Okay, as we're clearing it out of the nervous system, right? We're shifting this belief, right? shifting that low vibration energy to a high vibration energy. That neuron is being pruned and plucked up, and it's being replaced by this new thought, right? And now you're repeating this new thought and you're putting that in the loop, okay? So now we're clearing the belief that you are affected by this shutdown. Okay, so continue to breathe. All right, now retest. I am affected by this shutdown. No. Okay, so for those of you who it has now shifted from yes to no, congratulations. And now what we're gonna do, because I have went way over, it's been about an hour now, is we're going to support you with having the opportunity to do this again with me tomorrow, same bad time. Well, it'll be different tomorrow because I got some stuff going on at 12:30. That's what time I did it this morning, and coming back now, so it'll be probably a little later in the afternoon. But I'll be posting it, so follow, like, and share my page, and you'll be notified when we go live. Or you can register and you'll get the registration notice. All right, so what you've experienced in final is your capacity to be able to know how to communicate with the subconscious mind. All right, that part of you that controls 99% of everything that you are creating and you are experiencing. All right, and I want to leave you with this, as we talked about peace earlier, because this is one of the primary themes for you no longer being triggered. You know, you want to be able to have a peaceful holiday or joyous holiday and not have a lot of the drama that's going on. So, you know, peace isn't found, it is wired. Okay, peace isn't found, it is wired. So you can be in the most chaotic circumstance and you're just as peaceful as you want to be, because you are clear about where you are, what's happening. I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way. I'm just saying that you are in a space where you now have a different reality. Okay, you're creating a different reality for yourself, and everybody has access to this. Okay, so you are special because you doing it right now for yourself. All right, and so the next thing I would like to say, continue drinking your water, and if you're ready to keep building these circuits, join me tomorrow. And yeah, you can DM Mylan, you know, over, and we'll make sure that you gain access. All right, and so with all that you've experienced today, put your hand on your heart and, you know, breathe this new information in. It may be new for some, it may be from a different framework for others, right? Where it makes sense, where you can see it this way now with some other modalities that you're doing, right? And ways of thinking. So however and wherever you are on the spectrum, yes, we are one. We're on the frequency together. We're riding high, and we are lifting each other up, right? And supporting each other to show up as our best and highest self, right? And purposeful. So just know that your brain believes whatever you repeat, and we've talked about that. So repeat love. All right, and ground, repeat love. Remember, your brain believes whatever you repeat. So repeat love. And I would say to my mom, love, 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 you know. And so then she started saying it to the people she had influence over, and at her funeral, that's what was coming up. Love, 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 love. You know, one of the ladies was saying it at the church she went to, and their whole group, even out in California, it's like love, 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 love. You know, and so I was so proud. And I was like, praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. My mama, she was doing it. And so I'm so grateful and thankful to be able to share that with you. So repeat, love, and watch how your environment and the people who are not vibrating at the same frequency that you are, they'll begin to fall away. And you'll wonder, well, what happened to so-and-so? They'll begin to fall away because they're not vibrating at that same frequency. You're now upgrading who you are and how you be, your energy field, your aura. You're now upgrading it. So thank you all so much. I have so much fun doing this, and I'm excited to keep going and be consistent, because I told you I was consistently inconsistent. So now I'm excited to be consistent with sharing these opportunities and adding more value. And again, whether you continue to work with me or not, or do anything else with me, this is my gift. This is from my heart, and you won't be able to say I didn't share it with you. That's for sure. All right, so love, 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 love. Assalamu alaikum, aloha, and peace, 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 and bliss, bliss.